I don't know why I keep doing this to myself, but I built another 64 by 64 lot, and the concept of this one may initially sound a little bit strange, so you're gonna have to just trust me on this. So this house is inspired by a carrot, but like not in a weird way. It's like loosely based on the idea of a carrot because it's for my Very Veggie Legacy challenge. Long story short, I wrote this 10 generation legacy where each generation is a different vegetable theme. So in the carrot gen, everything is supposed to be orange. You're like riding horses for a living. So really it's just gonna be an orange horse ranch, which isn't even that weird. It just sounds weird when you first hear about it. But this is a long speed build, so I'm just gonna get started now and kind of walk you through what we've built and then maybe explain a little bit more about the legacy and about the Sims who live here just to kind of catch you up to speed. For starters, I'm building this in Gibby Point, so that's the world that comes with Adventure Awaits, and we're on the 64 by 64 lot in like the way back corner. It's like the top left of the map. By default, this lot is empty. It's just got like a bunch of trees on it. It isn't any sort of special lot or anything. I didn't have to bulldoze anything to do this. And if you're looking for it, it's in that neighborhood kind of up by the geyser. So it's a sort of interesting place to live because there's a lot of wildlife around here. There's like butterflies to collect. There's a lot of trails around. There's a park and playground in the neighborhood. And of course, the Geyser National Park space is over here. And I figured this would be kind of an interesting place to have a horse because there are so many trails and it's very outdoorsy. It's kind of a different vibe than Chestnut Ridge that comes with Horse Ranch, but I think it makes sense still. Plus, a lot of the buildings in this world are kind of cabin-like, which I also think makes sense for a horse situation. And since the world is new, I hadn't had a legacy sim live in this area yet, so I was kind of curious to test it out. So that's why we're moving here. And right now, we're just starting to build the general shape of the house and kind of getting an idea for how it's eventually going to look. The house itself looks kind of small on the lot right now, but don't be alarmed because we're gonna have this big main building, but there's also going to be a barn and a greenhouse and all of like the horse stuff in the back. So we're gonna have like a bunch of the jumps and we'll have some barrels to race on, and that takes up a lot of room on a lot this big. So it doesn't really feel empty, even though maybe initially it might look kind of scary. I also, for some reason, started with the diagonal walls. That was the first structure that I built, which looking back on is kind of scary. It's like, now we're gonna scare everybody starting with that one. I definitely scared myself doing that when I tried to do the floor plan, but I really wanted to have some diagonal walls because I think it looks really interesting. Like the shape of it is cooler than it just being completely flat, especially because it is such a big area. I was kind of trying to think up ways to take up space. I also wanted to have a lot of balcony space on this house. I really liked the look of having some big open porches and stuff. I struggled a lot with the size of the porches and like the width of the staircase and how I wanted to do all that. So I was testing out a couple different options for like 2 tile wide and 4 tile wide staircases. And then on this left side, we have kind of a cool, it looks very cabin-y, this like super tall open roof situation. And then I painted the whole house with just that plain wooden color. It's not really super orange. That's the trouble with trying to do an orange house in The Sims 4. There's not really a lot of orange stuff in this game. That was kind of like a major problem for me when I was trying to furnish stuff, particularly with wallpaper. Furniture is kind of okay, but there's just not a lot of orange wallpapers. So I was trying to go through all the options for the walls, and this wood paneling was kind of the best bet. And then I was looking at the roof, and yeah, right now we've got this like horrible orange metal roof. I regret to inform you that I do keep a bright orange metal roof. It's one of those things where I think it grows on you the longer you stare at the build. It does kind of feel less bad after a little while. The Sim who lives in this house is named Rot, which it also grows on you after a while. It kind of sounds horrible, but like it's after a carrot. Like rot. So I named them Rot, which I kind of like at this point because it's been a little bit that I've been playing with them, but it is kind of initially shocking. And I think that the roof texture is also initially shocking, but it'll get there. You'll see. By the end, you're gonna think, wow, I kind of like the orange roof. At least I hope so. I don't know if I've ever used this orange roof swatch before. This might be a first for me. And obviously this is kind of like a special occasion because it is for my legacy. Doing this legacy and also doing Not So Berry before this, it's really pushed me out of my comfort zone with building a little bit because I feel like I really have to look in the catalog for stuff that fits the vibes. The first gen house was green. It was broccoli themed. That wasn't too bad because there's a lot of green in the game. Like that was kind of easy to do. The next gen was purple. It was eggplant themed. That was a lot harder because I think that purple and orange are probably the 2 colors that are the most lacking in The Sims 4. It's just hard to find nice purple wallpapers and obviously the purple furniture, it's either like a nice pastel or that horrible base game magenta and there's no in between. So that one was kind of hard. I don't even think I posted that speed build yet. of the purple one. We're out of order now, but I'm actively playing the carrot gen right now on Twitch. I just started it. We're kind of in like episode 1 of the next gen. So if you wanted to come watch me play this legacy, now is kind of a good time to start watching it on stream because we're starting the next generation. My sim just became a young adult. They're not like married or anything yet. We don't even have a partner. So, you know, it's kind of a good place to begin with the legacy, I guess. I'm actually gonna stream it tomorrow on Twitch. My name is just lilsimsie on Twitch as well. I'll link it down below for you. So if you wanna come watch some carrot related gameplay, I know it sounds so weird. It's not weird, I promise. It's just me playing as a person who rides horses and wears orange clothes. Like, it's not that strange. It's actually kind of fun. But anyway, that's kind of like the general exterior shape figured out. So now we're gonna go inside and start trying to break up all of the floor plan. And this is a really weird shaped building. So it was definitely a challenge for me to try and do this floor plan, especially because of that diagonal section. It's always hard to think about how you're gonna do stuff in the diagonal area. I think the biggest drawback for me with diagonal walls is just that you can't really do kitchens in those sections because a diagonal tile is like wider than a regular one, obviously because in a square the diagonal is longer. So when you try and put kitchen cabinets on diagonals, they don't fit properly and they have weird lighting bugs. So I try to really avoid putting kitchen cabinets in the diagonal spaces, but that was kind of limiting with the furnishings on this house. So it took me a little bit to figure out how I wanted to do it. What we end up having instead is kind of like a little front entryway right here by the staircase. I'm gonna have a mud room with laundry in it next door, which was a really brave decision for me to make because playing with laundry and like committing to laundry in my legacy is a little bit scary. But I don't know, it's been like 2 streams and I've been managing. I've kept up with it. It's been okay. I think once my sim has kids, I might change my mind and delete the washer and dryer, but there's gonna be like a mud room laundry space next to the front door. I think that's realistic as well with a farm that we're living on. Like, it's kind of nice to have a place to put your boots and stuff. On that left side, or I guess from the front of the house, the far right side is gonna be the primary bedroom, and it's gonna have a huge ensuite bathroom. There's gonna be a little bathroom by the staircase. The front middle section, like that big open area in front of the stairs, is the dining room. The left has the kitchen, and then the diagonal space is going to become the living room. I feel like diagonals are a good spot to put living rooms because couches and TVs and stuff aren't really affected by diagonal walls. They fit fine, they don't have weird lighting issues, so you're kind of safe to put them over there. I also ended up adding in a basement, which we don't really need, but this house is kind of surprisingly small when you actually start furnishing it. Upstairs, there's 2 bedrooms only, plus the 1 bedroom downstairs. So it's a 3-bedroom house. We have an office, and I made it, and I'll show you this in a minute, but I made it so that the upstairs could be 3 bedrooms. But since I don't have any kids or any need for that yet, I split one of those bedrooms up into 2 really fancy bathrooms, or like a fancy bathroom and a closet, because I don't really need the extra space. But if I do have multiple kids, then we can use that extra room and kind of like delete the wall in the middle of it and make it into a bedroom instead of the bathroom and closet. But in the basement, I added in a gym and also like a nectar making space because the previous generation, the eggplant gen, he is supposed to be like, honestly, his whole thing's about woohoo, to put it bluntly, but he also is interested in fitness, he's interested in dancing, and then he tries to sell nectar for money. So it's kind of like the grandpa gets to use the basement for all of his hobbies. So I kind of just like shoved that stuff downstairs, and then we had a little bit more room for activities and things in the house. Plus, I liked how the staircase helped me to split up that hallway. You know, it was nice to have like an extra thing in the way. So I used that, but I'm kind of trying to figure out the layout of this room. Right now, this furniture won't stay. Like I put down one of those little bear chairs as a filler thing. I'm not gonna use the bear chair, I promise. I just was kind of trying to see if it would fit there. Oh, I also used, just from Horse Ranch, some of those Horse Ranch shutters for the windows. I wish that they were a more true orange. They're very much wood colored and not really orange colored, but I used them anyway because I thought it looked nice. We kind of have that wood color throughout, even with the floor and stuff. I do think the kitchen cabinets have a very orange tone to them, but they're still just wood. I have a lot of like orange wallpaper and orange rugs to really sell the whole orange thing though, which you'll see in a minute. And now we're trying to think about the upstairs. So you can see how those 3 bedrooms came together. The middle one is what I end up splitting into 2 rooms instead, but I also could obviously very easily just use it as a bedroom again when I eventually need more space for more kids. But since we don't have any kids yet, I'm not too worried about that. It was funny because I put all of those walls in and then I tried to do something else and then I realized that it was bad and I went back to the first thing. So this was me just changing my mind briefly and then realizing it was a bad idea, and then I put it all straight back. There is a really big hallway upstairs. I end up kind of using it as like a little reading nook stair landing in the end. But now we're jumping back. We kind of figured the floor plan out, so now we're gonna jump back to the back corner of the lot. that and build the barn, because this sim is supposed to have 3 horses. That's one of the rules for the generation. So I wanted to have some barn space back here. We actually have space for 4 horses in this barn, but we won't. I'm not gonna have 4 horses. I'm not gonna do that. We don't need to worry about that. And right now my sim actually only has 2, but my plan is to have the 2 horses get a little bit more talented and like maybe win some championships and then breed them. Because if you breed champion horses, they can get some special bonus traits. So I'm kind of working my way up to that right now. Inside the barn, there's 2 horse beds, and then outside there's 2 more. When I built this on stream, a lot of people were like really worried about how I didn't have enough space for everybody to be inside. There was only 2 inside, but you really don't need that. Like the horses don't even always want to sleep inside. Some horses don't even want to sleep on a horse bed at all. I think it depends what trait your horse has, but sometimes they want to sleep outside and they will never ever sleep inside of your barn. So it's okay if you don't have space indoors for them, as long as you have the right traits. And of course I do have enough horse beds. We've got the 4 of them, so I can have all of these. I've got 3 horses, and eventually I'll have like some sheep and stuff, because there's like the little orange mini sheep from Horse Ranch. I have one of those too, so it can sleep on one of those horse beds as well. And then upstairs, there's actually a room upstairs in this barn. I don't furnish it in this video. I don't have anything in there right now. But eventually, what I'm thinking for the storyline of this generation, I think I want their partner, before they're our partner, to move in and live above the barn, because our plan is to eventually date the ranch hand. The storyline is that the dad was like a terrible influence romantically. He had the villainous Valentine aspiration, so he's cheated on like 20 people throughout his life. I'm not even exaggerating. He's terrible. He's like breaking hearts, destroying marriages. Like he's just a really bad guy in that way. So our sim grew up with like loads of random people in the house all the time. We watched our dad cheating on people. Like I think it's kind of scarred them a little bit, so they're a little bit wary of getting married. So we're gonna have them not ever get married until they're an adult. They're currently a young adult, and I think they're gonna want to take their romantic relationships really slow, kind of like the opposite of their father. I think they still want to have a relationship, just maybe not yet, and also they don't want it to move fast. So what I think would be cute is if we became like best friends with the ranch hand, actual true best friends, and maybe that sim could move in and live in an apartment above the barn, and then eventually later on we could have them fall in love and get together and get married and have kids. But I'm trying to force myself to have a true slow burn relationship in the game, because I have such a tendency to play sims. I mean, I usually play on short lifespan, so when I'm playing, I'm like, okay, we have to get married right now and have kids like yesterday so that we can not die before they grow up. So I play very quickly. I'll like meet a sim and then be married in the next 2 or 3 days, and that's just not realistic, obviously. So I'm trying to be a little bit more reasonable and have like this true slow burn rom-com style romance in this generation. So eventually I'll decorate that apartment. We just haven't done it yet. This is me kind of trying to figure out the layout of the whole yard. You can see I put a greenhouse in. We have some pathways and a pool. I dropped down some like random horse stuff in that big open fenced area for where the horses are gonna go. But I think having all of this outside also helps to kind of like break up the backyard, because it's just so wide open, you know? At first I wanted to have a fence around all the paths. I didn't like this fence. It wasn't orange enough. What I did instead is I switched it to a debug one, which you'll see me change it for in a second. But as I'm just sat here trying to figure out the rest of this, I feel like now's a good time to do some life updates, because I tend to do those in these speed builds. So let's talk about how this week has gone. I said that in a weird way. It made it sound like something bad happened. Nothing bad happened this time. Everything's okay right now, thankfully. But it was Thanksgiving on Thursday, so I figured we could kind of yap about all of that. I have been hosting Thanksgiving at my house recently. At least, I mean, for the past like 4 years, I think I've hosted Thanksgiving at my house. I really like to cook. Like, it's fun for me to cook a big meal. I like doing that kind of thing. And also, I don't want there to be a turkey. So if I do it, then there is no turkey at our Thanksgiving. I've actually been vegetarian for 10 years. It was my 10-year vegetarian anniversary this year at Thanksgiving time, which is kind of wild to think about. But anyway, I won't talk about that too much. Basically, my parents came over to my house and my siblings did for Thanksgiving this year. I cooked a few pies. I made a big roast cauliflower. We had like mashed potatoes, you know, all the obvious things. It was really good. Felt pretty good about that. But the reason I wanted to bring it up is because we played a couple new board games that I think a lot of you might actually really like. And you might have heard of these before already because they're kind of viral on TikTok, but it was my first time playing them, so it was like new to me. We got them from this place called Big Potato Games, and the first one we played was called Herd Mentality, and it's kind of like Family Feud style, but cow themed. And what I mean by that is there's like a question card, and the question card could be something like, what's what's your favorite pizza topping? And everybody has to write down not what their actual favorite answer is, but what they think everybody else would say. So maybe your favorite pizza topping is pineapple, but you're pretty sure your whole family would write down pepperoni. You would write pepperoni in hopes that you'll be in the majority answer group. And then you kind of go around and everybody says what they wrote. Everybody who put pepperoni then that was in the majority would get a point. They get like a little cow token. But maybe like you and your sister wrote pineapple. You weren't in the majority because your uncles all put pepperoni. You're fine because you just don't get a point. But then randomly your grandma wrote like anchovies. Nobody else wrote anchovy. So she kind of loses. She has to hold on to this little pink cow because she was the odd one out. So she gets given this like pink cow thingy. I don't know. It was really funny. I really enjoyed playing that game. And then afterward, we played another game that I thought was actually more fun called the Chameleon. And this is the one that I've seen people play on TikTok a bunch, and it's really funny. Basically, in your group, there's one imposter, and the goal is to figure out who that imposter is. So you deal out cards to everybody. One of the cards assigns that person as the chameleon. And then everybody else except the chameleon all knows this one secret word. So maybe in this case, the secret word is Florida. And then everyone will go around in a circle and they'll say a word that relates to the secret word. So maybe I would say oranges. Maybe you would say Disney. Maybe your brother says alligator. And the chameleon has to try to listen to all these words and like say something that fits in and make them not get caught because they have to pretend that they know what the secret word is. But with those examples, they could probably catch on that it's Florida or at least something related. So they could say like Mickey Mouse and nobody would know that they didn't know. Or they could just be like purple because they heard you say orange. Obviously they have no idea what the word is. You all kind of laugh at them and then call them out as the chameleon and they get voted out. I don't know if I'm explaining this very well, but oh my gosh, it was so funny. It was a really, really fun game. I would actually like highly recommend that one if you've been like wanting to get a family game to play for the holidays. And it wasn't like inappropriate, so you could play it with kids and stuff just fine. Like it's a family game. I'm not sponsored by them at all. Like I'm not affiliated with Big Potato Games, but I did really enjoy those two games, and I feel like it's a good thing to mention because the holidays are coming up and everything. But like that was a hit. Everybody in my family, like everybody loved that. And I think it was like $25 to buy the board game, so it was a little pricey, but it's not too bad for board games. And they maybe they have an app. I can't remember. You'd have to look it up, but yeah, it was good. I would recommend. Anyway, we're finally working on the inside of the house now. I furnished that laundry room that I was telling you about earlier, and now I'm starting to put the dining room together. And in this dining room, I did two brave things. The first is that I used a round table, and I never use the round tables. And if I do, I only put 4 chairs on them. I don't really like how they look when they have 6 chairs, but I think I'm just being dramatic when I do that. I don't know. But I used all 6 chairs on this round table. This makes me think that I really want to have a large square table where you could put like 6 chairs around a big square. I just want more different shapes of dining tables in this game. But anyway, the other brave thing I did was the rug that I'm using is actually from the Grange Mudroom kit, and I put 2 of them. So it looks like one big rug. You can kind of see if you look up close, you can see the seam down the middle, but I really don't think it's that noticeable. It looks like it's supposed to be a big giant square rug. So I was pretty excited about that. I felt like I had found some kind of new item that I could use. And now we're just trying to figure out what kind of decor we want to put in to fill in the rest of the walls. I was thinking about curtains, and I was struggling because there's not a lot of nice orange curtains. I was trying to think about plants. I ended up putting a piano inside of this dining room, which I really liked. It has that nice orangey toned wood. And then I also put so many empty picture frames in this house. Like, I have so many of those growing together gallery wall things. I don't normally put as many of them in a build as I did here. I feel like typically when I'm doing a build for a video, I usually don't use those gallery wall picture frame things because I want the build to look more finished, and when they're empty, they don't really look finished. But since this is for my gameplay and it's like intended as a legacy challenge house, I have so many photos. I honestly have probably taken like 20 photos a stream, 20 different types of photos, not like, because you take like 5 at once probably. No, I take so many pictures. I've got like selfies with my family. I got pictures of me and the horse. Like I've got so many photos, and I've got all these generations of photos as well. So I like to have a lot of frames for them because I'm going to decorate the house mostly with that stuff. Everything else is kind of just there as filler. Honestly, a lot of the other art you'll see I'm probably going to delete and replace with family photos as I play because I'm already running out of space. I already have not enough frames. That's why I have that huge gallery wall next to the piano and stuff. So it might look a little bit excessive when you're just first looking at it, but it is actually useful for me as I play here. I also had a really hard time with this little table that I've kind of got in the middle of the hallway next to the staircase, I was struggling a lot with what kind of lamp to put on it because nothing slotted to it. Literally nothing slotted to this table. I don't understand why they do this. And then I was trying out like basically every single table to see if it would slot to the same height. No, nothing is the same height as this table. The lamps don't slot to those like little side things. It's because that lamp that I'm trying to use is from Jungle Adventure and it doesn't slot to anything. It's like an issue with that lamp specifically. And also the tables sometimes have weird slots. But yeah, I really wanted that lamp and I did everything in my power to try and get it to fit. This is literally just me checking everything to see if it sits there, but it doesn't. It doesn't sit on anything that's the right height. And I was trying to raise it up. It doesn't work. I probably could have cut this out so you didn't have to watch this whole process, but this was a big detour on stream. We were all like throwing out suggestions in chat. Like, does it fit on this thing? Does it slot to this thing? Does it slot into this? No. If you've got an idea in the comments, we probably tried it. Probably didn't work. I actually just gave up and picked a different lamp in the end. I think I filmed this part of the build before the last update, so we didn't have those new items yet. And then I filmed the second half of it after the update. So I probably like started this on Monday and then finished it on Tuesday when the update came out. So I ended up replacing it with the new lamp, I think, from that update a couple weeks ago. But we have the bowling night stuff one in there for now. That's our temporary filler lamp. And then I was trying to think about what kind of art could go above it. I was trying to put mirrors. I wasn't sure if it was too big or too high up. I was being really dramatic about that little tiny space. It's like the smallest part of the build and I was being so silly. But anyway, now we're gonna work on the kitchen. I used a lot of horse ranch in this kitchen, and then we also have the Riviera Retreat kit tile and then some Jungle Adventure orange appliances. I always forget about those Jungle Adventure appliances. It's hard for me to bring myself to use colorful appliances most of the time in my builds because it's kind of funky, you know, but I think it makes sense for in here. I feel like it's really cool in a build like this. It's a special occasion. We also have that really tiny like 3x1 room next to the kitchen you might have seen. That's gonna be a pantry. I wanted to use some of the stuff from the kitchen clutter kit in there, and I also kind of wanted to use it to put some appliances in because you know in big fancy houses in real life, sometimes they'll have like those butler's pantry things. I'm thinking about like the YouTubers in LA. Like I'm thinking about like Rosanna Pansino's house and how she has a second fridge in her butler's pantry. But that's kind of the vibe that I was going for. But I just put a waffle maker in there. So we don't have a second fridge, but we have waffles in our little pantry space and just like some random clutter in there too. We also have some things from like Tiny Living. I've got some candles and some more decor in the kitchen. I have a lot of fun decorating kitchens, especially one like this that is so big, because sometimes I'll do really small kitchens in houses. I think I just tend to build smaller houses in general because I kind of prefer them to be a little bit tighter and like cozier inside. But this house is massive, so we had loads of room to have like so much clutter inside of the kitchen. The other thing that we've done so far that I kind of cut out is I did the bathrooms already. I didn't include the bathrooms in the speed build because it was so long already. Like I can only yap so much. I can talk, I can really talk, but I can only talk so much. So I cut the bathrooms out, but I'll show you those at the end. We'll do a big tour and I'll kind of show you everything slowed down so you can look around more properly. But we have the bathrooms too. Oh, and there's a blender. I forgot about that. We have a blender and a waffle maker inside of this butler's pantry. It's really tight, but it is still functional. They can walk in there, I promise. It also looks really funny when you have the walls cut away. I actually had one of these in our last house, in the purple house. I'll post that one. If you want to see it, let me know. I have the footage. I just kind of forgot that I hadn't posted it yet. So tell me in the comments if I should post the purple one. It's a very different vibe. It's kind of like French countryside inspired purple house, and it's smaller too, but we had less money back then. In a Legacy, you kind of keep getting more and more money, and this Sim's dad was selling nectar, so he was getting like 100K just like that from selling wine. But anyway, I had one of those pantries in that house too, and when the walls are cut away, it looks like you just randomly, for some reason, because you can't see the shelves or the decor, it just looks like you've randomly put a counter and an appliance in another room and like closed it off for no reason. So people in the chat would be like, why do you have like a weird like closed off waffle maker closet? Like what is that? And you just can't tell that it's a pantry. But anyway, it makes me laugh that they think that. And it looks even worse in this house because there's two appliances just like weirdly farther away from the kitchen for whatever odd reason. But this is me trying to figure out the shape of the living room. And I was trying to get a big custom TV stand situation. Right now we have these cabinets in there, but I'm gonna add in even more cabinets so it looks like huge built-ins around the TV. And we have the most expensive ridiculous TV ever. It's like 8,500 simoleons. I always feel silly buying that, but my Sim's rich, so I might as well. And I love that TV because they can watch it for like 30 minutes and their fun is full. It's so easy to fill your Sims fun with that thing. It works even better than Woohoo, which is rare. I feel like that doesn't happen very often. But anyway, while we're doing this room, I have like 2 more updates for you. Speaking of TV and like things you watch on a screen, we didn't talk about Wicked yet because we mentioned it last week because I was gonna go and see it. I've seen it twice now. I'm obsessed, you guys. I'm so happy. I'm actually kind of sad because now it's over and I've seen all the movies. But I've been so obsessed with Wicked for like 15 years, 16 years even. And so I don't know, it's just been like healing to my inner child to have the second movie come out. I really loved watching it. I kind of want to go see it again, but I think that's unreasonable to see it 3 times in like a little bit more than a week. So I'm gonna give myself some more time and space first. I also listened to Cynthia Erivo's book, which I would recommend. I thought it was really good. It's also not very long. I listened to it on Spotify. I tend to use the Spotify audiobooks for things like that are like shorter that I want to listen to immediately and don't want to have to like wait for my library or anything. But I think it's like 3.5 hours long, the audiobook. She narrates it herself, and you get 15 hours of audiobooks on Spotify every month. So if you've got Spotify, I would recommend it. Her book just came out and I thought it was really well done. So that was my 104th book this year. I can't remember if I updated you about passing my 100 goal, but that was my 104th book. I last year read 112, and I think I can beat that now. I was a little bit nervous, but I think we can do it. I had a little bit of a slump back in October because I had a lot of bad stuff happening in my life, like some family stuff going on. I had a hard time reading when I was like actively grieving. I don't think I've stopped grieving. I don't think you ever stop grieving, but like those couple of weeks, I had a really hard time focusing. I think that is normal. So I kind of had a slump, so I slowed down a bit, but I think I'm getting better. I think we're getting back into it a little bit more. It's not a race. It's not a competition. I don't need to beat myself, but now that I know that maybe I can, it's making me feel a little bit inspired. So I'll keep you posted on how that one goes. And as always, if you've got any book recommendations, let us know in the comments. I always think it's fun to read about that kind of stuff, like see what you're all up to and what you're reading. Oh my gosh, this looks ridiculous right now. This is me trying to put like stuff on the fireplace mantle, but nothing slots to it. So you have to cover all the other slots. For some reason, the fireplaces have slots on top of them. I don't get this because basically nothing slots to the mantle. I think it's because the mantle only has tiny slots. In the game, there's a couple different sizes of object. There's like the tiny, there's medium, whatever, and only the tiniest clutter things can slot to the mantle, and then they have some slightly bigger, like maybe the small slot category on top of the fireplace. But why would I want to put something up there? Honestly, you don't even need to bother. I'd rather you give me more slots on the mantle and have nothing on the top, because I can use cheats to put things on top if I want to. But it's annoying to have to use cheats to put things on the mantle and then have to like cover up the top so I can slot the... But anyway, I managed it in the end. It's just kind of a process to decorate mantles now. And we're going back downstairs for a second to decorate the basement that I was telling you about. So this first little part, this is gonna be the nectar making room. And oh my goodness, I was getting so annoyed at this room. It's not doing it right now. I don't remember if you can see it in the footage either, but more than once, we had these major lighting bugs in the basement where, because I've got like 2 stacks of the nectar racks. There's like 5 on the bottom and 5 attached to the top of them. The top half of all the nectar racks would turn completely pitch black and you couldn't see them. And I discovered that I could fix it by like scooting the lot over a tile, like going to the move button and moving the lot over and then moving it back. And if you moved the lot, it would fix the weird lighting glitch in the basement, but then it would come back and I have to do it again and come back and do it again. So it's happening right now in my gameplay. Like it's actively happening as we speak. I'm not even gonna bother. Like I'm not gonna fix it again. I just don't care anymore. It's making me so mad. I don't want to have to keep moving the house over and over. That's dumb. So right now you can see them, but imagine if the whole top half was black and you couldn't. So that's kind of annoying. I do have some more photos on that wall in here, and then through the big archway right there, this is gonna become the gym. There were some people in chat that were hoping that I would make this room purple because the previous gen was purple, and like sometimes when I play this legacy, I'll decorate, for example, like we will have purple room in this house. Everything is orange except for one room, the dad's room. And because this gym kind of is his, like we thought about maybe making it purple instead, but then also I figured it's not like only he's gonna use the room, so I still made it orange. I also used some items that I've maybe never used before. This is the orange swatch of the fitness stuff gym equipment. And genuinely, I don't even know if I knew that it had this swatch. it's just so bright. Like, it's hard to find a use for things like this, but it worked out really well in here. And then from Adventure Awaits, there's a couple of these like gym poster items or like framed artwork for the gym. They all have orange in them. So there's like an orange and yellow dumbbell thing. Like, it worked out so well. So I used the stuff from Adventure Awaits in here too. We have this like neon orange plant. I put a little yoga mat clutter item and stuff. I kind of had fun doing this just because I feel like I discovered some stuff. And I always like to discover new swatches on items because I know this game really well. Honestly, like, I could probably name every single item in The Sims 4, and that sounds like an exaggeration, but I don't even think it is. But sometimes there are things that I forget about, or like, I know that fitness stuff has that furniture, but I just don't really like it very much, so I don't use it. So I'm not as familiar with the swatch colors from fitness stuff. So it's kind of fun for me to discover old things that feel new, like that orange. And I'm never going to use it again, but at least now I know it's there. And at least now I finally got to use it because fitness stuff came out, what, like 8 years ago? I'm checking actually. Oh my God, June 20th, 2017. Wow. I remember actually when fitness stuff came out, I was flying home from my grandpa's funeral and it came out like the day that we were in the airport. I didn't used to really make videos about stuff packs back then. I kind of just would make videos playing with them. I didn't do like reviews or anything in that era. My channel was kind of just getting started though. But yeah, I remember I was flying home from my grandpa's funeral and I had my laptop with me. So I was in the airport and I downloaded the stuff pack and I was like looking at it with my mom in the airport. I don't think I've ever told that story before. That wasn't supposed to be a sad story. It's just interesting that that is my association with the early days of fitness stuff. And I thought it was dumb then. I figured it was kind of a bad pack. I did think like I probably shouldn't have bought this. Back then I thought it was a waste of my money, but you know, I finally used it. Cut to me in 2025. Finally put it in my orange carrot themed house. But this room, this is gonna become the primary bedroom. So we're trying to decorate it with some like funky orange stuff, obviously, as well. I really am not sure about the curtains in here, so I'm sorry if you hate them. They're just the orange curtains from Seasons, but I used the new curtain rod. It's like the curtain rod object that they should have added to Adventure Awaits and then didn't, and then apologized for, and then added again, finally, in the update that just came out. So I used that curtain rod item, but the problem with using that with the Seasons curtains is you can like see the Seasons curtain stuff clipping through it. So I'm finding that a little bit difficult to not notice. It's like glaringly obviously ugly to me, but I was trying to ignore it and see how I felt about it when I used it this way for the first time. So hopefully you don't hate that too much. I tried my best. I was trying to do something different. And then I also used this kind of cool horse tapestry from Horse Ranch, and the rug in here is from the Little Campers kit. I really like that rug. It kind of looks like a quilt, and I'm very into quilting, as you know. In real life I like to sew, so it's kind of a fun item. And I kind of forgot it had this like orange and green swatch, so I used that as Rot's rug in their bedroom. You can see through this door that I'm decorating next to right now, that's the primary bathroom, but that's pretty much the whole downstairs bedroom. We're just gonna do a little bit more decorating, like the same annoying process to decorate the fireplace again and put some clutter on the mantle and add some stuff in like that. It just takes time, but we got there. I have these kind of cute little pot things from Lovestruck. I actually sized it up and then rotated it so it looked like, because it's like two pots together. I rotated it so that one of them was hidden in the fireplace and you can't see it, and it looks just like one pot, which maybe was a stretch, but it worked out. And now we're back outside. We've gone all the way to the barn. I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, but I didn't ever put furniture in the barn. So I'm adding things like a saddle and like the horse feeder. We need the water, you know, all that kind of stuff. I left a few bits of the wall space inside of the barn empty because I figured that I would eventually put up all of my horse trophies, and I am pleased to announce that I have been doing that. I've got a lot of horse trophies hung up in here as we speak in my active gameplay save. So I think we've got like 10 of them now. So I've got those inside. I have a few in the main house too, but it's mostly in there. We also have some chickens that I've got, and then we of course have that sheep that I was telling you about. I put some more of the little horse grass so that they can eat the food. And now we're going upstairs and we're gonna start decorating those purple rooms, or the purple room. You can see I have the bathroom already. I don't even wanna tell you about how annoying that bathroom was to decorate, because I was trying to be brave and use a tile that I never use, and it just like, I think it looks kind of weird, but I wanted to be different. So I gave the sim who lives here is called Greg Plant, like eggplant, but Greg. So I gave Greg that like purple tile. He has a closet, and then of course he has his bedroom. This is the woohoo sim that I was telling you about. So he has the vibrating heart bed, and just like some stuff like that. But if you can kind of see it, the bathroom and his walk-in closet, that together is the room that I was saying earlier that could be a bedroom. I think when Greg dies, I'll probably just delete the wall and make it into an extra bedroom up here, but I don't need that yet, so we don't have it. There is also one final bedroom. There's like the two up here. I didn't actually even furnish the second one up here. I put some storage in there. What I did was put like some boxes and an empty bassinet because I figured my Sim's gonna have a kid at some point soon. So I kind of thought it'd be cute if we pretended that there was like some hand-me-down objects in there, because in a legacy, it's a cute idea to imagine that you have the same bassinet or like the same crib. So I kind of tried to make it look like there was some moving boxes and like there was some stuff set up for when the baby does eventually come. It's just not, there is no baby. Not yet. The baby is gonna be in the squash gen and they're gonna go to university. Their whole thing is gonna be like a super academic. That's their plan. I haven't decided what I'm gonna name the squash gen yet. So if you've got any ideas for names that sound kind of like a squash or something related to a squash or like a certain kind of squash, like it could be like zucchini related, I don't know. If you've got any ideas, you can let me know in the comments down below. We can try and pull from that. The one that comes up most often is squasha, but I don't think I want to do that because my friend Sasha in real life calls herself squasha sometimes. So like I have too much of an IRL association to squasha to be able to use that for my sim. You know, it needs to be a little bit more chaotic than squasha, but let me know if you've got any options because I will gladly accept them. You can also tell me in my Twitch chat tomorrow if you're gonna come by and like watch this with us. But with that, we are just about done with the speed build. So that actually went quicker than I thought it would. Time flies when you're building carrot houses, apparently. But what I want to do now is pop back into the game and give you a tour of the finished product. So as a reminder, I built it in Gibby Point. We're up here on this lot, the Hothead Rock Hideaway lot. By default, it just has like stuff on it. It's got like a bunch of trees, so it doesn't look empty, but it is empty. On the gallery, it's called Very Veggie Carrot House. It costs 209,000 simoleons, and it uses a disgusting number of packs. Like this is, oh my god, was that 5 pages? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think this is my worst one yet. I don't know if I've ever hit 5 pages before. Oh my god. Okay, well, in my defense, I built this for me to play in, so I didn't really try to limit packs at all, but that does make me feel horrible. This is like one of the most expensive things I've ever built, both in game and in real life because of the pack content. Oh my god. And it's only 3 bedrooms. That makes it even worse. It's like fake big. It looks big, but it's only 3 bedrooms. Okay, well, here's what it looks like when you first place it off the gallery. Here's kind of an overview of the lot. I cut out a fair bit of the landscaping because it took me so long. Anytime we're doing a big lot like this, the landscaping takes me forever, but here's kind of a look up close at how the plants looked. I tried to have a lot of orange accents with the landscaping, obviously, because it's the carrot house. I also have this cute orange cat mailbox. I've got like a little orange bird feeder back here. I've got an orange bike in the front, but kind of going around the side. Over this way, I hid an orange swing set. We can go through this little gate and we get into the back. This is where we have some of the horse stuff. I wouldn't normally put bright orange dirt underneath the horse jumps, but again, I was trying to embrace the orange. So we have those. I've got a couple horse balls, like an orange one there, another orange one there. I've got an outhouse too, because I thought it'd be kind of fun to have Greg woohoo in there. He has already used the outhouse to woohoo somebody, which is just terrible. But here's a look at the barn. Eventually, I'd like for this to be an apartment, but not yet. For now, we just have this barn stuff in here. The horses mostly prefer to sleep in these two, but I have seen the horse sleep in this one a couple times. Over here, I have some chickens. I've got this nice ranch board. This is useful in gameplay because you can enter horse competitions from that instead of having to like travel or use your phone or anything. And then through this gate, it connects back up to the backyard. I'm really excited about this backyard as a concept. We have a lovely pool with some orange themed floaties. I've got a bright orange pool slide. I forgot this thing came in orange and it's so good. It's like the exact color. I also used the neon orange wallpaper from Spa Day. People in my Twitch chat keep calling it the Fanta pool or the Gatorade pool because it looks like it's full of Gatorade, which is disgusting. But if you want to think that, go ahead. It's so dumb. There's no need for this to be like that. It could have been a normal color, but I wanted it to be bright, so I did that. We also have some lounge chairs. This is kind of like a covered grill and patio space for us. So we have this, and this is that little debug fence that I was telling you about. I think it looks kind of cool. And then this is how you can access the greenhouse. So I've got a bunch of planter boxes in this space because my Sim's making nectar. He's been growing a lot of plants like grapes for him to use for that. And way back this way in the back corner, this is my shark pond, so I can kill people if necessary. But let's go back in and we'll kind of look at the inside of the house now. So here's a top-down overview of the full floor plan. When you first walk up, I forgot about these plants too. These are from Enchanted by Nature, but I always think about the green swatches, like the plain ones, but they have bright orange. So I use those by the door. We've got a chess table. And then when you first come in, we've kind of got this little entry space right here. And then this is the mud room that I keep telling you about. I don't know about these bright orange appliances, but I tried. I really tried. Forward, we have the dining room. This is the lamp that I swapped it to, as you can see. We also have some stuff for the cats. This painting is fun. My sim actually made this carrot painting because the first gen is the broccoli gen, and they're supposed to be an artist who like runs a small business with businesses and hobbies. Her name was Collie, and because she was a painter, I had her paint as many paintings as possible that I could hang up on the walls in later gens. So now we have this kind of fun family heirloom carrot painting. It's a large surrealism painting if you wanted your sim to try and make one. It's a pain, but if you paint enough large surrealism, they might make this for you if you're gonna play the Legacy. I literally just kept painting until I got that one. I wanted this painting specifically. Over to the left, we've got like a little half bathroom downstairs. This is the waffle room I was telling you about that looks so funny when you have the walls cut away because it just seems like two random appliances off to the side. But this is the kitchen. They're actively baking some cookies. We've got a bunch of decor everywhere on the kitchen walls. And then I think I might have cut this part out, but this is the office. We have a rat, we've got a desk and a computer, and then we also have a cat tree. And over here, I kind of have like two living room sections. This one's by the TV. I've since added in my gameplay some clutter across the top of this table. I have like some snow globes and things over there. I've also been putting up marriage certificates on this wall. And then over here, we have some stuff in front of the fireplace. I've got like hot cocoa and a bar and everything. Way back across the house, this is a little hallway that takes you into the primary bedroom. I used this fireplace bump out just to make it look smaller because it was too big, but this sim has an absolutely massive primary bathroom. We have a shower, a tub, all these things. And then in the basement, down this little staircase, look, it's doing it. This is what I was telling you about with the lighting glitch. So this keeps happening to me. I've just started ignoring it at this point, but we can make our nectar in here. I actually did have to switch this to be on this side instead because I didn't realize that they couldn't get into this thing right there. So sorry about that. If you download the lot, you might have to move this, but that's okay. And then this is the gym with the bright orange stuff. And then if you go up this staircase, this is like the little reading nook that I was telling you about. I put these here because the roof is clipping through the wall. So I put some bookshelves just to block it. They also have a fish tank. There's another bathroom upstairs. And then this is that empty room with storage. I have like the Christmas tree and some moving boxes and like some random stuff just on display in there. And then way down here, this is Greg Plant's purple room. I actually changed the lighting so it would be neon purple. It's really jarring for the rest of the house, but it's very him. I haven't told you much about him, but I think just from what you've heard, you probably get it. So this is what he has. And then I did a kind of different vibe in his bathroom. I've never used these things together, but I kind of like it. This is just Enchanted by Nature decorative tile decals, and these are from Get Together, this floor tile. I've never used it because I've always hated it, but I tried my best to make it happen, and I actually kind of like it in this room. There's also two more balconies. Back here we have yoga and a telescope. There's an easel, and then in the front we have a card table, and these are a couple rocking chairs. This is lemonade. So there's a lot of places to hang out. Oh, even like over here, the primary bedroom has two balconies. This one's got a woodworking table. So I managed to squeeze in a lot of skill building stuff on this lot, which you would hope one could do on a 64 by 64 lot, but that I think just about covers everything. We are finally done with the build. I hope that you enjoyed this one. I really had fun building it. I actually built this live on my Twitch streams also, so I'll link again my Twitch channel down below, but I post all of my streams on my second channel on YouTube after I'm done streaming them. It's just called More Simsie. I'll link that down below too, but you could go back and you could watch all the streams of me building this live if you wanted to see the full process. It took me like 10 hours or something, but if you wanted to watch it back, you could. That could be an exaggeration. I actually can't remember how long it took me to build this, but it's big, so it wasn't short. I think it was like 3 days too. But anyway, thank you for watching. If you've got anything good going on in your life right now, TV shows you like, games you're having fun with, maybe you read a good book, maybe you bake cookies, I don't know. Let us know something positive that's happened to you lately in the comments. I started doing this a few weeks ago because I've kind of been going through it recently, and I think it's been helping me. So let's all share something good down below. What are you into? What do you enjoy? And I'll catch you all tomorrow. Okay? Bye, everybody. Oh, something else positive. It was my brother's birthday yesterday. I've asked you to comment like 50 things today, but maybe also say happy birthday to Brett in the comments down below. I don't think he'll see it, but I'll tell him about it and he would enjoy that, I think.